Welcome. Today, we're diving into the incredible Book of Esther, breaking down this ancient story of courage, destiny, and a providence that works in ways you'd never expect.
Have you ever wondered that? It's really the question at the very heart of Esther's story. It's a narrative just packed with palace intrigue, life or death danger, and this sense of a quiet, hidden hand guiding everything. Okay, let's get into it.
So we're going to explore the first 5 chapters, and we'll treat it like a 5-act drama. It's the perfect way to see how the stage is set for one of history's most unlikely and amazing heroines.
All right, Act 1. Our story kicks off in the massive Persian Empire, ruled by King Ahasuerus. We're talking about a kingdom of almost unimaginable power and wealth.
To show off just how magnificent he is, the king throws this party for 180 days. I mean, can you imagine? That's half a year. And then he follows that up with another 7-day feast for everybody at the palace. It's this staggering show of power, but it also shows us a king who's pretty driven by pride, right?
So on that last day, the king's feeling pretty good after all that wine, and he makes this fateful demand. He summons Queen Vashti to be brought before everyone, wearing her crown so he can show off her beauty like she's just another one of his treasures. But in this absolutely stunning moment of defiance, she says no. She refuses to come. The king is absolutely furious, and his advisors, they panic. They're worried her defiance is going to give other wives ideas. So they convince him to make a huge move. He issues a royal decree, and get this, it's written into the laws of the Persians and the Medes, a law that can never be reversed, not even by the king himself. And just like that, Vashti is out, banished from the king's presence forever. So, let's recap Act 1. A completely foolish, pride-driven decision has suddenly created this massive power vacuum right at the top of the empire. It really feels like an unseen hand is starting to move the pieces on the board. Let's see who gets moved into position next.
Okay, Act 2. Vashti is gone, so the hunt is on for a new queen. A call goes out across the entire kingdom to find the most beautiful young women and bring them to the palace. And it's here that we finally meet our heroes, a young orphan girl and her devoted cousin.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because our hero is living a double life. To her people, she's Hadassah, a Jewish orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai. But in the Persian court, she becomes Esther, and her cousin Mordecai tells her, do not reveal where you come from. Her Jewish heritage is a closely guarded secret. And Esther, well, she just captivates everyone she meets, from the head of the harem right up to the king himself. The text says the king loved Esther more than all the other women, and he places the royal crown on her head. He makes her queen. And the whole time, he has absolutely no idea who she really is.
Meanwhile, you've got Mordecai, who is always there, always watching from the king's gates, and he overhears a plot to kill the king. So he tells Esther, who then tells the king, making sure to give Mordecai the credit. The traitors are caught, and Mordecai's good deed is written down in the official royal records. It's this crucial little detail that, for now, just gets filed away, almost forgotten. It's like a seed of providence just planted for later.
Okay, Act 3. Just when our heroes are perfectly placed, a dark and sinister figure rises to power. The king promotes this man named Haman, and his massive ego is about to set a catastrophe in motion.
King Ahasuerus puts Haman above every other official in the kingdom, and he gives a direct command. Everyone at the king's gate must bow down and pay reverence to Haman. It's the ultimate sign of respect and authority. And right here, this is where the central conflict just explodes. Mordecai refuses, flat out. As a Jew, he believes that kind of reverence is for God alone, and he will not give it to a man. And this isn't just quiet disobedience, it's a direct public challenge to Haman's authority. Haman is filled with a blinding wrath, but he thinks just getting rid of Mordecai is, beneath them. So instead, he manipulates the king. He spins this story about a certain rebellious people scattered throughout the empire, and he gets the king's permission to issue a decree to destroy, to kill, and to annihilate all Jews in the empire on a single day. A day that was chosen by casting lots, or pur.
So, Act 4. The decree goes out to every corner of the empire. And you can just imagine the wave of mourning, fasting, and weeping that sweeps through the Jewish people. This crisis is what leads us to the great turning point of the whole story. Mordecai gets word to Esther, pleading with her to go to the king and beg for her people. But she sends back this terrifying reminder. Anyone who approaches the king uninvited faces an automatic death sentence. And, to make it worse, she hasn't even been called to see him in 30 days. Mordecai's reply is one of the most powerful challenges in the entire Bible. He tells her, "Don't you dare think you'll escape just because you live in the palace." He says if she stays silent, deliverance will come from somewhere else, but she and her family will be destroyed. And then he asks that profound question, "Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?"
And that's it. That is Esther's moment of truth. She transforms, her fear falls away as she realizes her purpose. But she doesn't just rush in. She's wise. She calls for a 3-day fast for all the Jews in the city, saying she and her maids will do the same. She's preparing spiritually for what she has to do.
And with those chilling words, Esther completely accepts her fate. She commits to this act of incredible courage that will either be the salvation of her people, or it will cost her absolutely everything. The hidden queen is about to step into the light, and she's armed with faith, not fear.
All right, Act 5. The 3 days of fasting are over. Esther puts on her royal robes and makes her move. But it's not the desperate plea we might expect. No, she moves with incredible strategy. She stands in the inner court, and the king sees her. He holds out the golden scepter, saving her life, and offering her anything she wants, up to half the kingdom. But instead of blurting out the whole plot, she shows amazing wisdom. She simply invites the king and her mortal enemy, Haman, to a private banquet that she's prepared.
Haman leaves that banquet on cloud 9. I mean, he was exclusively invited by the queen. But his joy just evaporates into rage the second he sees Mordecai at the gate, still refusing to bow. He goes home, and on the advice of his wife and friends, he has a gallows built over 75 feet high, with the plan to ask the king first thing in the morning to have Mordecai hanged on it.
And this is where we're going to leave the story for now, on the very nice edge of suspense. You have two opposing plans about to collide head-on. It's this powerful picture of how, even when things seem totally chaotic, driven by human pride and hatred, a hidden purpose and a divine timing might be unfolding perfectly right under our noses.